Perfect World episode 195, Shi Hao's body was in critical condition. Yet, he still managed to achieve 100 consecutive victories on the Immortal Bone Arena. Previously, Shi Hao suffered severe injuries while cultivating the Willow God's technique. The Immortal Bone Arena had already opened, and he had to go. Only by dominating the arena as soon as possible and seizing the great opportunity within could he escape the dangers posed by the various powerful sects. Near the arena in the Cloud Realm, many creatures had already gathered. Many were waiting, unwilling to be the first one up. Whoever went up had to win 100 consecutive matches before being allowed to rest. Upon hearing this news, many felt it was too cruel. It seemed almost impossible. Who could guarantee 100 consecutive wins? Soon, a three-headed hellhound creature was the first to step onto the arena, ready to accept everyone's challenges. Just then, Shi Hao arrived. Everyone frowned, their gazes fixed on him. They couldn't understand how Huang had arrived so quickly. He wasn't giving anyone else a chance, especially since at Zhexian, even the suspected 10-time champion of Silver Province had fallen. Now, who could be his opponent? For a time, Shi Hao's appearance caused a great commotion. Many people were talking amongst themselves. The name Huang was like thunder to many ears. His fame was too great. But those who had actually seen his true face were few, especially after his recent myth-shattering feat, overcoming the strongest heavenly tribulation and slaying 7 heavenly gods. This event had truly shocked everyone. With his record and groundbreaking achievements, he would attract attention wherever he went. Seeing Shi Hao for the first time, some couldn't help but exclaim, "He's even younger than I imagined. How did he cultivate like this? He's not an ancient freak, nor has he accumulated power over ages. He's completely risen in this lifetime, soaring to the heavens in a single bound." On the path of cultivation, he could be called a prodigy, a rare talent throughout history. A rarity indeed. People believed that Shi Hao, as long as he could grow smoothly, would have unlimited potential in the future, capable of battling all the strong experts of the younger generation. Some young women present, upon seeing Shi Hao for the first time, were smitten. They had only heard that Huang's cultivation was powerful, but they hadn't expected him to be so handsome. The young women chattered amongst themselves, their bright eyes sparkling. They giggled and were very lively. Of course, there were also quite a few strong individuals who harbored hostility towards Shi Hao. Not a small number. But they dared not show it because Shi Hao's record was too terrifying. He showed no mercy to anyone who targeted him. Shi Hao wouldn't hold back. At this moment, Shi Hao looked at the arena, his heart unable to calm down. Having only entered Immortal Valley for a few years, he was already 20 years old. Compared to previous arena openings in Immortal Valley, this time seemed too soon. He hadn't expected the final showdown to arrive so quickly. The massive arena, etched with the marks of time, stood tall in the void, yet remained indestructible. It was the stage for the younger generation's battles for supremacy. However, Shi Hao didn't rush onto the arena. Instead, he sat down cross-legged, silently observing everything. Meanwhile, the three-headed hellhound roared, asking who dared to fight him. He hadn't noticed Shi Hao's arrival. Many glanced back at Shi Hao, but found him calm, without any reaction. However, some noticed that Shi Hao's complexion wasn't right. He was much thinner than before, and his skin lacked luster. Everyone speculated that Shi Hao might be injured. Many experts' eyes suddenly lit up. They thought, could Shi Hao be unable to compete? This situation was giving them a chance. The three-headed hellhound on the arena was surprised. He had been shouting for a while, but no one had come up. Was it because his strength was too overwhelming, intimidating the crowd? But as he was surveying the crowd, he finally spotted Shi Hao. He was instantly terrified by Shi Hao and wanted to jump off the arena. But Shi Hao just smiled faintly at him, showing no intention of stepping onto the arena. This calmed the three-headed hellhound down. At the same time, a strong nightcrawler, wielding a long spear, rushed onto the arena. The three-headed hellhound declared, "As long as Lord Huang doesn't take the stage, I'm always ready." Upon hearing this, the crowd cursed inwardly, This bootlicker is quite good at flattery. He had subtly complimented Shi Hao. Soon, the three-headed hellhound and the golden winged yiksha began to fight. Despite their vast divine abilities and unleashing their true divine power, the arena remained unmoved. After over 100 rounds, the three heads of the hellhound glowed simultaneously. A terrifying beam shot out from the center of each brow, piercing through half of the golden winged yiksha's body. The golden winged yiksha fled rapidly, jumping off the arena to avoid certain death. People couldn't help but sigh. The three-headed hellhound is truly powerful. It's not unreasonable that he was the first to take the stage. But the three-headed hellhound was shameless, continuing to flatter Shi Hao. He said, "I dedicate this victory to the Lord Huang whom I admire." Shi Hao just smiled upon hearing this, while everyone else cursed him in their hearts. How can this bootlicker say such shameless things? He's truly shameless. Truly shameless. Just like that, after the three-headed hellhound achieved 29 consecutive victories, a Pishio stepped onto the arena. Its physique was massive, blood chi soared to the heavens. And in this battle, the three-headed hellhound was defeated. It almost perished, ending its legendary winning streak. Meanwhile, news came from Emperor Zhe. A small world rift within the Immortal Valley was violently shaking. People from various sects outside were frantically attacking it, wanting to break in. Shi Hao realized time was running out. Even though his blood chi was insufficient, he had to enter the arena. He needed to sweep aside all the strong contenders quickly to have a chance at obtaining the ultimate fortune. In no time, Shi Hao stepped onto the arena, causing a sensation. Pishio's gaze was fierce. He knew he wasn't Shi Hao's match, but he didn't retreat. Opening his mouth, he spewed out a beam of peerless killing light and sent forth a secret treasure, charging towards Shi Hao. However, Shi Hao simply crushed the secret treasure with one hand and transformed a golden talisman into a willow leaf, piercing Pishio's heart. Frightened, Pishio immediately knelt and begged for mercy. Shi Hao simply swept him off the arena with a wave of his hand, without taking his life. This scene stunned everyone present. Subduing Pishio with a single gesture, this primordial vicious beast's power was truly overwhelming. But soon, everyone noticed that Shi Hao's physical condition wasn't right. Not only was his body slightly trembling, but a trickle of blood also spilled from the corner of his mouth. This outcome led many to believe that something was wrong with his body. A group of people even saw hope, believing that Shi Hao couldn't remain undefeated. Thus, a purple flood dragon came to the arena, ready to challenge Shi Hao. He spewed out a purple gold divine sword from his mouth and with sundering divine wings on his back, pounced towards Shi Hao. But Shi Hao merely sat cross-legged, extending a large hand. With a bang, the purple flood dragon was swatted away, coughing up blood. He immediately admitted defeat. Shi Hao didn't attack and allowed him to leave. But at the same time, raging flames erupted from Shi Hao's body. It was his own lifeblood being consumed. Many were overjoyed. Shi Hao's body was experiencing a very serious problem. If they delayed, waiting for him to collapse on the arena, it would undoubtedly be the best news. So, no one stepped onto the stage in the next moment, just waiting for Shi Hao to collapse. However, after a while, a rune appeared on the arena. People quickly understood its meaning. If no one entered the arena, after a certain time, Shi Hao would be considered to have won a match. The crowd felt this couldn't continue. Especially those who were hostile towards Shi Hao didn't want to see him win so easily. Therefore, many strong individuals found people to challenge him. They would admit defeat after losing, until Shi Hao's astonishing life force was exhausted. As expected, in the next dozen or so battles, although Shi Hao overpowered all his opponents, his physical condition worsened. The burning of blood chi around his body intensified. Until the 80th match, Shi Hao, though teetering, still achieved 85 consecutive victories, shaking the entire Immortal Valley. And in the 86th match, Shi Hao encountered an old acquaintance, Shan Denzi. Back in the Yuan Tian secret realm, he had been slain by Shi Hao. However, in that small world, some first-generation experts possessed life-saving talismans, allowing them to be resurrected once. And this time, Standoff didn't waste any time. He immediately used his first-generation treasure tree, erupting with overwhelming lightning, bombarding Shi Hao. Shi Hao sneered, "Don't you know I just crossed the heavenly tribulation? The thing I least fear is lightning." Standoff didn't care. He sent out dozens of secret treasures, all of which exploded, unleashing a terrifying power that engulfed Shi Hao. But shockingly, Shi Hao wasn't harmed in the slightest. Even the explosion of all the treasures couldn't hurt him. Standoff was instantly disheartened. He felt even more defeated than in the Yuan-Tian's secret realm. He turned to leave, realizing he was no match for Shi Hao. But Shi Hao didn't want to let him go. A golden willow branch appeared on his arm, like a chain of order, rapidly shooting out. The next moment, Standoff's screams echoed. The golden willow branch pierced his forehead, shredding his primordial spirit, killing him instantly. Everyone was dumbfounded. Shi Hao's body clearly had a major problem, yet no one could stop his winning streak. People's expressions were grave. Huang was simply too powerful. He was about to reach 100 consecutive victories. Just then, Gu Yanyun arrived. Everyone turned around. This was the only other survivor after Shi Hao's successful tribulation. He came from the Sword Valley and was a powerful figure. He had once challenged the four-time champion, Chang Gong'en. Among the archaic prodigies, he was definitely one of the strongest, capable of contending with anyone. He could compete for supremacy with anyone. The Sword Valley had always been opposed to the descendants of the Supreme Being, along with the Fire Cloud Cave, the demonic Dragon Dao Gate, and others. They were all ancient lineages established to suppress the sinful prefecture. Many were anticipating this. Huang was already injured, his physical condition in crisis. This was Gu Yanyun's best chance to strike. At this moment, everyone held their breath, waiting for that moment to arrive. But Gu Yanyun, his face calm, didn't make a move. He simply stared intently at Shi Hao, his great Luo immortal sword in hand. He was a master swordsman and naturally admired this peerless sword embryo. So, Gu Yanyun calmly said, "This sword is excellent. I think it suits me well." Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Someone questioned, "Is this a declaration of war against Shi Hao?" Shi Hao responded, "If you like, come and get it." Gu Yanyun declared, "I will, but I don't want to duel a dying man." Another black Xuanwu, black turtle, entered the stage. Seeing Gu Yanyun hesitate, it aimed to break Shi Hao's winning streak. Shi Hao, realizing his problems were escalating, used his power. He knew only a swift victory could save him. With a chi sound, the sword embryo unleashed a peerless sword ray. The black Xuanwu's shell was sliced in two and crashed to the ground. Everyone was astonished. They couldn't believe the Xuanwu's powerful defense was so easily breached. The Xuanwu abandoned its shell and admitted defeat, fleeing for its life. Shi Hao won several more matches. In the 99th match, a powerful ancient freak stepped forward. Shi Hao asked, "As an ancient king, you're willing to wear me down for someone else, giving up the championship?" The ancient freak replied, "I haven't cultivated immortal chi, nor can I overcome the heavenly tribulation. Rather than that, I'd rather give up this chance at fortune and trade with others for treasures to compensate myself." In this battle, the ancient freak had reached the great perfection of the true God realm. Shi Hao, though weak, stood and forced himself to breathe, using the reincarnation treasure tree to rapidly age the freak. He then sliced open the opponent's head and froze the freak's forehead with a finger. He declared, "Even if an ancient freak comes, it's no use." No one could stop Shi Hao's winning streak, despite his critical condition. Only one match remained before Shi Hao achieved 100 consecutive victories. He looked at Gu Yanyun and said, "Aren't you ready to take the stage?" Gu Yanyun's reply was firm, "I don't want to fight a dead man." Someone asked, "Fellow Taoist, haven't you gone too far?" Gu Yanyun explained, "Huang cultivated a secret technique that injured his Taoist origin. He is now terminally ill and won't live much longer." Everyone was taken aback. They hadn't expected Huang, recently in the limelight, to be terminally ill. They looked at the arena. Many felt sorry for Shi Hao, but even more were gloating. Shi Hao was now unstoppable. Besides the 10 Crowns King, Shi Hao, and Ying Chuang, who could be his opponent? But those three were still missing. If someone else had made the claim, no one might have believed them, but coming from the person second only to Shi Hao in surviving the tribulation, everyone accepted his view. They had seen Shi Hao's withered blood chi as he sat cross-legged in the arena, passively targeted by Gu Yanyun. This was enough to explain everything. But Shi Hao calmly stated, even if everyone dies after a few more eras, I will still be alive in this world. He looked at Gu Yanyun, taunting, "You're wise not to come up. At least you're still alive now." The crowd erupted. Everyone saw Shi Hao's poor condition, sitting cross-legged in the arena. Yet he still dared to be so arrogant? Gu Yanyun, at his peak, definitely had the qualifications to challenge Shi Hao. Wasn't Shi Hao afraid Gu Yanyun would fight him to the death? However, Gu Yanyun was unfazed, simply staring at Shi Hao's sword embryo, completely unaffected. The 100th decisive battle arrived. But it wasn't the clash of titans people had imagined. Shi Hao sat cross-legged, and no one dared to approach. They feared his final burst of power, a final counterattack before death. After all, a dying camel is bigger than a horse. Some thought he wouldn't live much longer. Why take the stage and fight him to the death? It simply wasn't worth it. Finally, as time passed, no one challenged Shi Hao. He successfully completed his 100 consecutive victories.